Yo,
What it?
you.
Mhm.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for hosting this, Kimberly.
You're welcome. Thought I'd have more people on.
Hey, you're jumping. It's 11. There's
Yeah.
11 of them.
All right, well, it's 11, so let's go ahead and get started. So as you know, bridge list that we currently use in FMLS is going away at the end of the month. And that's because Zillow owns it. So now that they are a brokerage, they can no longer use it. Let me share my screen. Does anybody have any questions before we get started?
No, but I can't see your screen. Now I can.
Okay.
User error on this end.
All right, so you do log into your FMLS account and you hover over products. Where you used to find bridge list is now the Remine. So Remine docs, that's going to take you straight to a transaction, which is kind of like a room or a dot loop. So if you're just using this for input, you'll want to go straight into Remine. But first, I do want to show you, Remine has an interactive input form that you can actually email to your clients and have them fill it out and sign. So I'm going to show you that first, how to do that. So you would go into Remine Docs. And you're going to create a transaction, which, like I said, is kind of like the room or a dot loop.
So what is the purpose of this form that we're going to send to our client?
This is where they check all the descriptions. Of course, they won't fill out all of it, but some of it you might not know. For example, I mean, you should know this, but how many fireplaces, where it's located, the laundry room, things like that.
Okay.
Things you can't find on the tax records.
Okay.
And if you haven't used the docs in Remine, it's so easy. I would recommend this over DocuSign any day.
Yep.
All right, so we put in the name, hit next, and you go to FMLS. This is your GAR forms. These are the Keller Williams wire fraud, affiliated marketing disclosure. So we go here, click on dual entry form. And then here's all your different types.
Hey, Kimberly, what did you just click on to find that link to the dual entry? What did you click on?
So you go to Remine Docs.
Okay. Because I just came in, sorry.
Okay. Remine Docs, and that'll take you to this dashboard, and you're going
Right.
to create a transaction,
Okay.
which is like your room if you use DocuSign, or a loop if you use .loop.
Okay.
Kind of where your forms are stored.
Okay.
And if you're using this for like a purchase and sell, if you input the MLS number, it populates pretty much everything for you, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
The other agents' information, things like that.
okay.
So you
So
have
then-
to create a transaction first before you can do this.
If you are using the input form, if you're sending it to your client,
Okay.
if you print it out and take it with you, then you don't necessarily have to create a transaction. But if you're going to email it to them, yes, you do.
Okay. I use Remine, so I'm good. Okay.
Okay. So you go to dual entry, find your form, check mark it, and hit next. So now we are inside the transaction /room/loop. So if you want, you can open it up and fill it out,
Oh.
or whatever portion you want to fill out.
But now this has nothing to do other than getting you information. Like today, I've always just asked the questions and got the information. What you're showing us now is a sidebar to input.
Yeah, it's just a form that has all of that information, the school's price.
Yep.
Showing instructions,
Lord, I don't want them seeing all those remarks and putting that in. and then trying to tell
exterior,
us.
interior description.
Yeah.
So they could fill out as much as possible, and that would save you some time. And plus they can sign off on it, and
Oh.
you can't get in trouble for any misinformation because they filled it out. So once you have it open, if you want to fill it out, you can. If not, you just hit the people at the top. And then you'll add your client's name. And then to add their address, you hit this little pin, and that will allow you to put their address in, their email address down here at the bottom. And then all you do is hit send. And then you'll get an email notification once they have submitted it. And there's no required field, so they can leave anything blank, fill out what they know. Any questions so far?
Do they have to fill, do either you or the seller have to fill this out in order to input the listing?
No, it's just for
Gotcha.
board
Okay.
purposes. Yeah.
Yep.
It's something neater than a yellow notepad.
Right. Especially for brand new agents, you don't exactly know what information you need to input a listing. So this is kind of like a guideline. So if you need to come back to your the room or transaction, you just go to my transaction and you'll find all the docs here. And just real quick, let's say, for example, you're uploading the disclosures to your listing. To do that, you do this exact same thing. You create a transaction, name it your, put in your MLS number, it'll auto-populate everything. And then when you get to this page, all you do is hit this MLS visibility, or you can find it here in the drop-down. And choose, enter the MLS number again, and then shared And that will post your docs to your listing so other agents can see it. All right, so we got this. So to get to the add input, you go to the Remine. You can go to Remine docs. You just have to hit an extra step. But if you go to Remine again, oh, and I did talk to someone. Dennis, is another reason you might want to use the input form. They are working on, when you enter the information on the input form, it will auto-populate to your listing. So you don't even
See,
have
that
to.
would be great.
I know, right?
Yes.
Because I was watching a video yesterday, they mentioned it, and it was like, the video is from like 10 months ago. So I emailed them. They're like, no, it's not ready yet, but it's in the works.
Oh
But
my
that
God.
would be awesome.
That would save so much time.
I know.
Okay, so you always want to fill out that form first before.
You don't have to.
Okay.
That's if you want to send it to your clients and let them fill it out,
I gotcha. Okay.
or if you just want to use it as a guideline. Usually I print it and I take it to my client and we both fill it out together,
Uh-huh.
but whatever you prefer, but you don't have to use the form.
Okay, gotcha.
I would just say be careful, because if that thing does go to auto-populate, I think I would kind of want to have an opportunity to review whatever my client.
And I'm sure it will be.
Yeah,
I'm sure you would have to hit the final button to go live.
especially, you know, there's some of them that want to do I've had some that wanted to write the script for the, and went, no.
All right,
Gosh, I wish my clients would write the description.
You've got I've got some people that are like book writers.
Yeah, right.
All right, so to get to the actual input part, you go to add, edit to your left.
Now, you had to create a listing and put in the address and all that, right?
No, you do not.
Okay, so just simply go to Remine, go to the left, add
I
it.
only created the transaction so I could pull that form in.
Okay,
So I could email it if you choose to use it. If not, you can go straight into FMLS, go straight to Remine. It'll take you to your dashboard and you hit this add edit.
got it.
Well, where'd it go? Sorry, I'm looking for something. There's usually an add edit button here. Hold on. I've only used this once, so I'm not claiming to be an expert. Okay, there we go. So this will show your actives, your pendings, all your transactions, and then below it'll show your incomplete or your published listings. If a listing has been listed with our office in the past, you can use that old MLS number to populate information. I don't necessarily recommend it, but you can do it, but it has to be with our office. So you hit this create listing. And it's basically just like bridge input from here. So we'll do detach. I don't really know what this registered means. Do y'all?
Check that question mark.
I did. It doesn't say.
It says registered.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
No
That's a
idea.
new status.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, FMLS put it as a new status.
What does it mean though?
I think it's that you can claim that you have the listing, but you're not marketing it yet.
Okay.
It's kind of sort of maybe possibly could be something similar to
Coming soon.
a coming soon. but
Yeah,
it's
but
got some nuances.
you don't have to complete the
Right,
listing
right.
to use it. Yeah.
I'm
Gotcha.
about to do 3 of them. So it's like, okay, let's see how this goes.
All right, so once you choose your information and hit next, this is where you'll connect your Georgia MLS. So you literally just hit this and it'll ask for your login. And then it'll save. Then put in so you put in the address of your listing and it will populate most of the information for you, as well as a little map.
Where is it populating the information from? Tax records?
Yes.
Did they just connect Georgia MLS to this? Because I've used this before and
Have you used
MLS wasn't there.
to input a listing? That's the only reason you would connect it. But before you move to the next step, it should ask you if you want to connect your Georgia MLS or not. And I'm just going through and checking stuff so I can get past it. So what you always want to make sure your Georgia MLS and FMLS is showing. Agent information. Dates. And then you have a preview listing up here. And I think after the next step.
Kimberly,
Mhm.
this is Connie. On that date, are you because on the new forms for 2021, you've got the contract date and then the marketing date. What date do you put in?
The date that it expires.
No, there's a start date that you have to fill in too.
Yeah.
I would think
They
the
haven't
marketing
changed.
date.
The marketing
Yeah,
date?
the day you're going live.
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't let you choose a date that's already passed.
Okay. Because
Cool.
I'm still hearing a lot about, all the rules and regulations of when you've got to enter a listing.
Right. I think
Clear as mud.
Jim is going to address that next week.
Okay.
So I think everybody's still confused.
Mhm. We're agents, that's our job.
And then you can even click this to show pricing stats for that area. If you're just curious, which I'm sure you've already done that at this point, but.
So Kimberly, I have a question. If you've already put in a listing but it's not live yet, but you had kind of put it in the old system to the dual entry, what's the bridge input, but you haven't gone live until after May 1st, will it work? Or should I just wait and put
I
it?
wouldn't, probably not.
Okay. But I could go ahead, can I put it in Remine now and then just
Yeah.
hold on to it
Yeah, you
until?
just save as incomplete.
Okay,
And then at the very beginning on our dashboard, you'll have published listings and incomplete listings.
perfect.
And again, I'm just clicking stuff so I can get to the next page. And this is kind of cool. If you do hit the little dots, it kind of explains what each tab means.
What is AVMs?
It is, I looked it up yesterday.
You say AVM?
Yeah,
That's an automated valuation.
that's it.
That's a Zestimate.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dennis.
No problem. But it's also on Realist. If you look down at the bottom, when you pull up the property and go down, you'll see where they put a valuation in their CoreLogic, or somebody puts a valuation, and it's an AVM valuation. It's just a generic term. It's not just a Zillow thing.
Trying to get to the picture part. Here's your remarks. And just keep in mind, they are different in the number you can use. All right, so here's so you can invite your photographer, and that will give them access to upload the pictures for you. And all it is an email that is sent to them that they can upload the pictures to this portal. It doesn't go live. You still get to go in and edit and still hit the live button, but that is an option. So you just hit that, put in their email, and then an email gets sent to them. And you upload your pictures.
So this is just like Ditto, but it does allow you.
You don't have to re-upload, yeah.
Good.
And you notice you already have an MLS number, but that doesn't mean that it's live yet. That's just the number it's going to be once it's live. There's your pictures, and I can't remember if Bridge List did this or not, but you can actually edit pictures here. You can change the brightness, the contrast, the saturation. And I don't think Bridge had that.
No, it didn't. This is cool.
Crop, rotate. And then here you would drag. Mark your featured photo. You can input your descriptions if you choose to. Check it if you want to delete it or download them or select all. Let's go ahead and preview it. So you can go through and kind of check all your information before you go live. And from here on, I mean, I'm not going to go through each page, but it's literally just like FMLS or Bridge. You just input the information that you have until you're all the way to the end, and then you submit to go live. It automatically goes to FMLS and Georgia MLS at the same time with photos and everything, just like Bridge did.
Kimberly, Connie again. I haven't had a chance to really look in detail at those dual entry forms that are the new ones for Remine. Are they in the order in which you would enter it? Because I remember the old dual entry, it's like you kind of had to skip around to get it.
Yes, they are in order.
So they're in order now. That's helpful. 17 pages though, holy cow.
Yeah. they didn't have a form when they first rolled out, and I emailed them. I was like, where's the input form? And they're like, that's a good idea. We should do
Oh my
that.
God.
And then boom, they have it.
Kimberly, can this be edited once it's gone live?
So once it goes live, edit,
Mhm.
yes. So I'm just gonna save this as incomplete down at the bottom.
This seems much more user-friendly than Bridge.
I mean, I've used Bridge so much, I could just fly
Yeah.
through it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is very super easy. Even the contracts are like so easy to use. I've been
Oh, yeah.
recommending everybody to use Remine instead of DocuSign. So if you go back to my transactions, I don't think that's the right one. Sorry, I'm still kind of learning myself. I wish they didn't have two separate pages. That always confuses me. So here are the ones that I've canceled and deleted. All right, there it is. Sorry. I want to say you can edit once it goes live. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Up there, top right.
Yeah, it says edit listing.
Yeah. So right here,
Uh-huh.
or update status, update price, and then you can hit these little pins as well. So yes, you can edit showing time, Supra. So you can do it all through Remine instead of FMLS.
Oh.
But with showing time, you can only do it in FMLS, right?
Well, technically this is FMLS.
I mean, if you do it in FMLS, it's for GMLS too, or just FMLS?
Just FMLS.
Yeah, okay.
So it looks like you had to add showing time and Supra. That doesn't automatically just get attached to your listing.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
That's if you want to edit, because a lot of times you'll put the who you want to get the notifications, You can add restrictions,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
then always add the serial number and CBS code of your lockbox.
So how did you do that? You just edited the showing time or the soup,
I just went to here's my published listings.
right?
And then if you click on your listing, edit listing,
Uh-huh.
status, and if you scroll down, if you just click that showing time, it goes automatically to your showing time.
Okay, awesome.
And it might ask you to log in. I think mine's just logging in because I have previously.
Okay. Thank you.
You can also add attachments in your showing time. And then when someone schedules an appointment, it automatically emails them any documents you want them to have. And that's pretty much it. Does anybody else have any questions? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's just getting to that point.
When you go under contract, can you do that here or do you have to do it in?
Yeah, it has a status. If you click on so here's my publish, here's the incomplete. There's the one I was just working on. You go back up to the top, update status. Let's see what that looks like. So yeah, you can change that. And then I'll update both.
But is there an active under contract status or is there just a pending status?
Looks like just pending.
You wouldn't want to do
Says the-
pending. Oh, yeah. But why would you do that in here?
I guess so you don't have to go into both FMLS and Georgia MLS.
Oh,
Right.
I always
I
did
just-
that. I never updated my statuses through Bridge because it just made me nervous. So I probably recommend doing what you've always done, going into each because they have different status labels in FMLS and Georgia MLS.
Am I right that when you change status in Remine, it changes both in FMLS and Georgia MLS?
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Except for the status. I'm not sure about that. I haven't tested it. And like I said, it's not showing all the different statuses that FMLS and Georgia MLS have.
Okay.
So Kimberly, I'm inputting a listing today. Should I just go ahead and do it in Remine instead of Bridge?
It's up to you. I mean, if
Okay.
you're going active today, then it really don't matter because you got to the end of May, so
Oh, the end of May? I thought it was the end of April.
no, May.
Gotcha. Okay, okay.
And what is Enlist?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. So this is a new program that we are announcing to you guys next week, or I'll probably just go ahead and do it today, obviously. But Imani is going to start inputting listings for free, but there's rules. You have to fill out the input form and provide it to her. She's not going to upload pictures. That would be your responsibility. She's not going to edit, change statuses. If there's something that's not correct on the listing, you have to go back in and correct those. You have to allow 2 business days to go live and provide your FMLS and Georgia MLS login. So we are, but if you're going in and putting pictures and filling out the form, you might as well just do it out yourself. But it is an option.
Well,
And the form is, what Connie said, it was 17 pages,
Yeah, it's really long.
but it's in the right order.
Correct.
Can you show us where to find that form? I might have missed that.
And then, this is a new program. We don't know exactly how it's gonna pan out. Because if she gets bombarded with 20 listings, then obviously we're gonna have to,
Rethink that.
yeah.
I have a feeling she's gonna get bombarded.
We'll see. So go into Remine Docs. And you have to create a transaction, which is kind of like your room or your dot loop or your loop.
Hey, do transaction coordinators, the closing company and stuff like that, do they do that for agents? Is that part of their package?
I don't think the closing
they
company does.
No, they
I'm not sure about the other one that we
Okay.
use.
We used to use, I think it's Still VA, Stephanie Still, and she did listing input.
I mean, I do listing inputs for people for $25. So, and I'll do the pictures and the documents for you.
Yes,
So, yeah,
I think Stephanie is still $50 to input, but the closing code does not do it.
Okay.
so yeah, I'm cheaper. So come to me.
That's right. Take care of her.
Yes,
So,
and she does
Kim-
a great job.
Thank you.
Kimberly, you're less expensive. You're definitely not cheaper.
True.
And
Good.
higher quality.
Higher quality.
So yeah, Kevin, you just create a transaction, put in the address, hit next. And then here you'll find the FMLS forms and the dual entry.
Okay.
And you can
Kimberly,
download it or put it in the transaction and email it to your clients for them to fill out.
Awesome.
Will you let us know if FMLS, when FMLS links the input form to the listing, if you hear about it?
Oh yeah, they even said that they will announce it
Oh, okay, good.
once it's ready.
Because
But
that's a huge value add.
yeah, but who knows when that'll happen.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be all kinds of bugs.
Uh-huh.
I didn't notice, Kimberly, is there a coming soon in the status?
Yeah, I would think it had to be. I know there was not one at the very beginning, but I want to say at the very end, there is the status, the active or the coming soon. I could be wrong, but Tracy, can you check on that when you do your listing?
Oh, I was gonna just do my listing in Bridge.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
Kimberly, a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So this is already available like now and today,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
So just go to your FMLS, hover over products, and it's here. So if you're just doing an input, just go straight here. But if you're using the input form, you go to the docs and then you hit this add edit. And that'll take you to your published listings and your incomplete. And if you're starting a new one, you hit the create listing.
Got it.
Let's see if I can see the status. Tour. I just don't want to bore y'all by going through all the different required fields.
Didn't you say registered means coming soon?
It's similar.
Oh, it's
I
similar.
don't really under.
Coming soon, you list everything. You fill out all the stuff in there and you categorize it as coming soon. The registered is if you go to the FMLS page you'll see, if you go to the FMLS page, you're going to see everything you need to know about the first page, not matrix, the first page. It will describe what that's all about. You only give it like 6 or 8 things, pieces of information, none of the detail.
And it's not visible to other agents.
Okay, that makes sense. So this would be like an off-market property that you're putting in.
I'm not sure why you do it. I got to
Would it
learn.
be for comps?
It's something that you're working with the seller on for 6 weeks in advance of being able to get it live. And so you're registering that property as yours, your listing. And
so you can go ahead and get the listing agreement today for a listing 21 days from now. I think it's got a max of 21 days.
I think that's coming soon. Coming soon is maximum 21 days. Registered is even longer than that. And I think it's primarily a way for FMLS to make sure that that it's in their system. So if it gets sold, then they're due a fee.
Yeah, I bet this has something to do with the listing agreement, the agreement date versus the marketing date.
Exactly.
You can't take it.
If you see, if you click on that, yes, it says cannot be added or changed.
Yeah, you cannot. Only an FMLS employee can remove it from the registered status. And you have to send a termination agreement. Registered listings can only be removed by FMLS staff upon receipt of a signed termination agreement from the seller. Showings of any kind are prohibited. Days on market are not counted. No commission is publicly offered. Public marketing is not, all caps, allowed.
So I'm thinking this is for like someone that doesn't want their property listed in FMLS, but you have to go ahead legally or technically you're supposed to put even all property into FMLS.
Yeah, this says that it requires Rule 3.1 requires listing brokers to submit their listings to the MLS within 48 hours of the exclusive right to sell contract being signed. Previously, this meant putting the listing in MLS as active or coming soon. This allows you to submit listing contracts to MLS in compliance that are neither displayed or distributed through the MLS.
There's no marketing.
None. So it's on the front page. You got to scroll down, but it's on the front page. It says all about our registered listing contract status. And there's even a video.
Okay.
So would you do this after it closes?
Do what?
Input the listing and put the registered after you close.
I think what happens is you're going to tell them when it's going to go live. You can change it to go live sooner, but it's going to go live. And I don't know the number of days there, but I could have sworn I saw 21. But that's okay. Hopefully,
well, if it's registered, it doesn't go live, correct?
It's going to go live at some point. They're not going to just let you leave it out there in Nana land.
It's like
I don't know that rule. I got to go back and find out what that rule is.
So like I have one that I was going to input today, but it probably won't be live till next Wednesday.
And that's fine. You would just mark it as saved and complete.
You wouldn't call
I'm
it.
thinking, and I could be wrong, that the registered is for like an off-market property that your friend bought, a friend of a friend bought it, and it never had to go in MLS. It closes. You want to input that listing for comp purposes and to get credit for that buy or sell. That's what I'm thinking the registered is. Because technically,
well, I tell you what, I'm going to call them and get the answer because I've got
technically every transaction is supposed to be an FMLS.
That's what I meant. So technically, Kimberly, like, just in case, because I didn't know, with everything going so fast, if you are doing an off market, if you know of someone selling their house and they don't even want to use, they just kind of want to do it under the table, do I have to put it in FMLS? Like legally, it's got to somehow stream through FMLS?
You're
So
supposed to.
You're supposed to, but legal is there's nothing legal.
Okay.
It's just FMLS rule.
Right.
Okay.
That comes
Because
back
the
to him.
FMLS is missing out on all these FMLS fees.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, the fee.
So you are going to get charged, and that's why people don't put them in.
Well, I'll tell you a story. I listed a house 4 years ago, put a coming soon sign out front, sold it to the first person that came by and bought it. Never put it in FMLS, never put it in the photos and all that stuff, and avoided the FMLS fee. I'm not going to tell you where. Now, 4 years later, I'm listing it. The people who bought it are selling it, and I'm listing it. It's not anywhere for agents to see unless they go to tax records to see what this thing sold for. And in this case, this thing sold for $820,000 4 years ago. We were listing for $1,250,000. So there's something about putting it in FMLS. You avoid a little bit of expense, but you're also got to think about how you're helping other realtors with data.
I remember what Sherry said now. She said, if you market a property, if you put it on Facebook, even though you're not technically putting it on MLS, I guess a quiet listing, you're still going to market on Facebook. You have to put it in MLS. And she said, there's like testers out there.
Yep.
If they see a listing that you're marketing and they go in MLS and it's not there, you're going to get fined up to $1,500.
We're going through that right now. And we didn't even really list it.
So I'm thinking that's what that registered is for. So you don't get that fine and you can still market it, even though it's not technically listed to the public.
I don't think that's correct. And I really think that it would be a good idea for Sherry, Jim, Michelle to address it with the office. I think it is, I don't think it is for that purpose. I think it is for the purpose of, I have a property that I have a listing agreement with. We're not even at the coming soon status yet.
But why wouldn't you just input it and save as
If you market
incomplete?
it in any way, it says in the registered status, if you market it in any way, social media, in any way, then, and it's in the registered status, then it has to go live. I believe I believe that you can still sell off-market property like that one you were just talking about, Dennis, and not pay the FMLS fee as long as it's not marketed.
Correct, that's correct. Yeah, that's what I said, that, and you're correct. As long as you don't mark it, it doesn't have to be in FMLS, period.
Right.
But if you're going to post it on Facebook and all that, it has to go in MLS. That's what I'm thinking the registered is for, just so it's there so you don't get fined. But I could be wrong, Diane.
What I recall reading about it is that within 48 hours of it being marketed on Facebook or what have you, it has to be live in the system and visible to other agents. But registered will put it in the system with minimal information, and it's not visible to other agents. I think it's really just encouraging agents to get their listings that they're working on for a couple of months before it goes on the market, have them go ahead and register them with the MLSs, because that means they're that much closer to getting their fee.
But what threw me
I
off
think
is
you're right.
it said that you can't change anything after you save it in register status. That's why I was confused about it.
Maybe registered is just like a temporary placeholder. And then like you have to go back in and enter all the information.
But then why
Let's
would
let, Dennis said he's gonna call, so why don't we just let Dennis call and find out?
Excellent.
Right, Dennis?
Sounds good.
My question would also be,
Dennis is on the phone with them. I bet you anything.
I bet you he is.
So whoever asked, there is a coming soon status.
Yeah.
my question would be, is signage considered marketing or would it just be online?
Absolutely. No, signage is marketing.
Well, Sherry told me differently. That's why I'm all kinds of confused, that you can put a coming soon sign, which to me is marketing. I don't know. So I think we're going to address all of that next week, the coming soon and the dates and the purchase, the listing agreement. Because the coming soon to me is marketing as well, because it goes to all other agents and they can send it to their clients. Is that not considered marketing?
Yes, that's marketing. But the sign, if you put a sign out with a coming soon sign writer on it, then but you're only in registered status with FMLS, and they somehow discover that, which would be remarkable. I don't know how they would. But I believe that would constitute in their definition, that would constitute marketing, and they would want you to have that fully marketed within 48 hours. But I could be wrong. So let's get clarification.
Yeah, well, I'll get clarification with Sherry, which I think she's going to cover next week at team meeting. And I'll ask her about the registered. But at the very end, you can do the coming soon and the statuses. I'm not seeing any statuses here. I don't know if you type it. I don't know. Oh, there we go. So this has to be checked and then that. And then there is an on market date for Georgia MLS as well. And then you can view your errors and go back before you submit. Any other questions? If you haven't used the documents in Remine, I would recommend doing it over DocuSign.
So how do you go into those documents again? Just remind me, because I've been using DocuSign and .loop still.
Hold on, let me share my screen again. So it's FMLS and you click on the docs. So just remember documents, click on the docs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you create the transaction like we did earlier.
Okay.
You can do listing by, and then when you hit next, here's your GAR forms.
Okay.
And be careful. They have the RE, I guess, I don't know what you call them, forms in here as well that are not GAR forms.
Right.
So just be careful and don't use those.
Okay, super. And then it has a.
There's the RE, don't use those. Make sure it always.
If you could just send it to you can put in your client's email and just e-sign it that way.
Right. So once you go to next, choose whatever contracts you want, go to next, then it takes you like inside the transaction, kind of like the room and the loops that you have.
Mhm.
And then once you open it up, there's the people, and that's where you add your clients. And to add their address, you have to hit the little pin.
Okay.
And then once you hit send, it's going to take you to another page, and you're going to check mark who all you want to send it to.
That looks pretty easy.
It's so easy. And then if you go back,
Sorry.
and you want to access more GAR forms, you just hit this little form, and that'll take you back to where we were, the GAR form, or you can upload a PDF. And then on the next page, there's a text and signature fields.
And you can do packages like buyer packages and listing packages also.
I haven't got that far into it, so I'm not sure.
No, I have, you can.
Oh,
So
you
the
have? Okay, good.
Library.
Oh, okay, I see it right here, the package library. So you
Yeah.
just choose from that?
Yeah, well, you have to you have to go in and
Oh, yeah, because
Fill
there's the
out.
one I made.
your forms and
That's cool.
So Kim,
yeah, it's really handy.
And these are logo GAR forms, which you don't have in DocuSign.
Exactly.
yeah. So Kimberly, just to be clear then, so then we're not going into command anymore, into opportunities, create an
Yes.
opportunity, that's all going away?
No,
We'll still do that, but then when we create an opportunity, instead of doing DocuSign,
you would just go into that's the only benefit of using DocuSign is that it does connect and you can easily bring them over.
yeah,
But other than that, here you would just download them to your computer and then manually upload it to your opportunity.
okay.
Is there any conversation about integrating the Remine with Command in the future?
No, and I might be wrong. I don't know if Remine is nationwide. So usually they only do accounts or portals that are nationwide that is available to everyone. I could be wrong though. Anything else before we go?
Thank you, Kimberly.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Kimberly. This is great.
You're
Yes, thank you,
welcome.
Kimberly.
Kevin, what'd you post here? What is that? Kevin, what's the link to?
Sorry, I wasn't able to unmute myself. So that's from the homepage when you go to like more info about the registered status. I was just kind of reading what it said. I think Diane's has the right mindset. Like, I think the new listing agreement states that within 48 hours of signing, it has to go into FMLS. So I think like what Diane was saying, if you have a seller that's going to do work for like 2 months and you guys sign a listing agreement 2 months in advance, basically you put it in as registered so no one can see it. You're basically just showing FMLS that you have a signed agreement. And then when you get close to like going live, you have to go in and actually fill out that input form. So I don't understand. I guess they're just really trying to stop off market sales.
I think that's what it is.
Like regardless if the seller wants to go live, it has to be put in FMLS now.
So the registered is just making those dates correlate, and you're not having to extend the marketing date.
Right. And then if you do need to like change when it's going live, then you have to actually reach out to FMLS because you can't change certain things about registered. You actually have to get them to do it.
So that makes sense.
Kind of crazy.
It's such a power grab, in my opinion. FMLS power grab.
Yeah.
So if your marketing date was tomorrow, but it's not ready to go marketing, you can put it as registered. And you don't have to change your listing.
Right. So like coming soon, I think it's like 21 days or something like that. So if you're, going live in a few weeks, you could just do coming soon. But if it's like further out than that, then you have to at least register and prove that you have a listing agreement.
Right.
But
Which
during
is-
registered status time, like until you get to coming soon or active status, you're not allowed to market at all. You can't even talk about it to your brokerage, according to them. You can't show it, like absolutely no showings are prohibited. Yeah, if you click on that link and read it, it's like, what are they trying to do here aside from just get our money?
Power grab.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Thank you, Kimberly.
All right, you're welcome. Let me know if y'all have anything else. Shoot me an email.
Look forward to hearing Jim and Sherry's take on all this.
Me too, because I'm so confused.
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you.
All right, see y'all later.